are someone who gets really socially anxious around other people, it doesn't have to be this way. I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can get relief from this. I'm Brooklyn Hannah. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single week. So I developed social anxiety after I got hit with over 20 different health challenges about 6 years ago. And basically I had to quit my job, which led me to being very socially isolated. And I basically laid on the couch for years. No answers as to what was wrong with me for many, many years. I eventually found that out. But I avoided plans with my family and friends because it just stressed me out. I even moved to Florida, across the country, away from my family, because that was my happy place. It was my safe place. And this is really sad, but I'd get nervous to even call my mom. I could go on and on about how it just was not fun. But now I'm able to freely socialize. I even speak in front of thousands of people every single month. What changed? What took me from being nervous about answering a phone call from my mom to being able to speak in front of thousands of people and not think twice? Well, Christ-centered brain rewiring. These tools made the change. And I want to share some of that with you today. So it's important to identify the unhealthy thinking patterns that are leading you to feel this way. If you feel nervous, down, negative towards yourself, or embarrassed, it's because you're having unhealthy thinking patterns. So let's identify some of the top 5 unhealthy thinking patterns related to being socially anxious. Number 1 is caring too much about what people think. So if you're socially anxious, you are likely concerned about what people think of you. Perhaps you're worried that they're going to think you're awkward or stupid. You wonder if you said something wrong, or if they like you, if you're accepted, right? So instead, it's important to understand that what God thinks of us matters most, not what other people think. We are called to please God, not man. So spiritually, man can do nothing to harm you eternally. Only God can allow that, right? And that's what matters most. Matthew 10:28 says, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell." So if you have a spiritual perspective on life, it really doesn't matter what people think. And even if they have a negative thought towards you, oh well, it's their own negative thinking. So number 2 is rehearsing what you're going to say before a conversation. So if you're going to do a presentation or speak in front of thousands, you might want to practice what you're going to say. But if you're just going to a coffee date with a friend, no need to plan out everything you're going to say. Sometimes the socially anxious, they rehearse and repeat what they're going to say in their mind beforehand, and it's unnecessary, and it's just going to heighten that fear stress response. Relax instead. Go with the flow. Trust that God will give you the words to say at the right time. So number 3 is replaying conversations once they're over. This isn't an unhealthy thinking pattern, but it's very common, even for people who aren't socially anxious. For example, let's just say you send a text message, and then you start analyzing if you said the right thing. You might start to worry about what the other person thinks, or wish you said something different. Instead, be confident in your words and redirect your thinking back to the present moment, back to the positive. So this happened to me all the time, especially when I talked to someone that seemed intimidating for me, right? So for example, when I met the pastor at church, after we went home, I kept replaying and repeating what he said, what I said, how he acted when I said certain things. Then I went into thinking, did I say that right? Did I sound godly? I wonder if he liked me, etc., etc., etc. And you want to stop those thoughts before you just beat yourself up. So no need to overanalyze what you said or how you acted in social situations. Number 4 is being stuck in your head in the middle of a conversation. So in the middle of a conversation, you might be stuck in your head having thoughts like, what should I say next? What if I say something really dumb? Everyone is talking more than me. I don't know what to say. You may be stuck just monitoring how the conversation is going instead of actually engaging in the conversation. So if you find yourself doing this, take your focus out of your own head, out of your own mind, and onto the people you're around. Practice listening. Practice your listening skills and listen to what the other person is saying. And if you don't feel like talking a lot, that's okay. There's no need to compare yourself to others, which is another unhealthy thinking pattern. There's no need to monitor how much you're talking compared to others, how resilient you are compared to others. If you don't know what to say, ask the other person questions. People love to talk about themselves. And so we just keep redirecting those unhealthy thinking patterns in the social situation, and it's going to get better over time. Number 5 is assuming what others are thinking of you. Usually, when this occurs, you assume that other people are thinking negatively about you. I used to think that just because I was quiet, people thought I was awkward. But what if the other person just thought that I was quiet and never had any thoughts that I was awkward? I also used to think that people didn't like me if they weren't super energetic and friendly towards me. But what if the other person is just quiet too, and it had nothing to do with them not liking me? Sometimes we allow our negative thoughts to beat us up for no reason. So you have to stop assuming and instead assume the best. Or better yet, don't assume at all, because the truth is, we can never know the true intentions of someone else's heart and mind, right? Only God does. So there were the 5 unhealthy thinking patterns and what to do with them that you can work on if you're socially anxious. I can tell you from experience, it gets better the more you're around people and the more you practice redirecting these thoughts and changing your perspective. If you are socially anxious or you have any other physical health challenges such as brain fog, fatigue, sensitivities, go ahead and schedule a free strategy call with the link below. My team and I would love to help you break free from this. Thank you for watching. Godspeed and God bless.